IMC TV.
Good morning, I'm John Roberts from IMC TV, coming to you today from Norwood, Massachusetts, home of Norwood Flight Academy. Today we're here with Radek Wyrzykowski, Master Certified Flight Instructor, founder and president of IMC Clubs. Good morning, Radek.
Good morning, John.
What made you create such a fine safety organization such as IMC Clubs?
It was really, I don't want to say accident, but I wasn't thinking it is going to be, such a large type of movement that is going to take nationwide course. At some point, that was a long time ago, I always wanted to guide and mentor students and pilots to go in actual conditions. I always was big proponent of flying in clouds of, training people in actual conditions so they see how it really works. At some point I was discussing things with my instructors at one of the flight schools, and idea came up to just sit together and talk about it. Three of us got together here at Norwood Airport and simply, we started organizing meetings. People were coming in and the whole thing became very, very popular. So, the main idea behind it is that people usually get their private license, they get their instrument license, and at that point they stop flying because it's not easy. Most of people will get their instrument rating under simulated conditions, which has nothing to do with actual instrument flying. And then they are afraid to go on the cloud and do it by themselves. So somebody with more experience will have to take their hand, if you will, and just guide them through that process. And that is pretty much what we wanted to do. And of course, pilots that are more proficient are safer, I would say.
Do you think that most instrument pilots train too much in VFR conditions and are a little intimidated when they get into actual IMC conditions?
Absolutely. Yeah. And I think it actually perpetuates itself simply due to the fact that most instructors get their instrument rating and their II, Certified Flight Instructor instrument rating, in visual conditions. So they are kind of afraid to go on clouds themselves. Therefore, they train their students in simulated conditions and think the whole thing will repeat itself.
Do you think it's more of a challenge to train in the Southwest and the South United States because the weather being so clear most of the time, they don't really get much actual instrument experience?
Yes, absolutely. In some areas I would even tend to say it's impossible to fly those, to find those actual instrument conditions. And that is another problem, because then those people would sometimes they move to East Coast, and now they find themselves in actual weather situation, and sometimes they get in trouble. It's that simple. There is no really simple solution for it, but the more we try, the better chance we have that we are going to be proficient.
Would you say it's more effective to train under the hood or on a flight simulator?
Actually, simulator, it's more realistic than flying under the hood. When you are under the hood, and depending on the type of device you use, you could have anything from just regular hood that covers your eyes like this, down to something that allows you to see just straight forward. But in either case, if you have just regular hood, your peripheral vision, it's still there. And whether you want or not, your brain is still registering, even if you don't look outside. Versus, for example, device that covers that peripheral vision and you look straight forward, that part does not allow you to scan all the instruments that you have just with your eyes. You have to move your head, which again, it's something that you should not be doing when you're IMC. And a simulator, on the other hand, but I'm talking about simulator, the enclosed simulator full motion potentially, or something that has just, you know, it's surrounded by screens and simulates being in actual conditions. So when you break out, you look to the sides and you see things. But that is definitely more realistic than being under the hood.
Why do you think the FAA does not require instrument rating to be mandatory, considering the enhanced safety of instrument flying?
I don't know. I think it should be, and as you probably know, in Europe, for night flying, they require instrument rating. I think it should be. It definitely should be required. Maybe not right away. I mean, maybe not something. Yeah, you get yourself. You have your private license. You know, you want to be able to fly,
right,
rather than have another rating required. But I think, you know, something saying that, you know, if you get your private license, you should be getting your instrument rating within specified period of time, I think would be reasonable.